Put it off. Oh, take it off. Okay.
Unscrew the top.
I would have to take the light bulb out. I didn't have this light on very long, did I?
When you do that. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
I don't like that either. It's coming from behind me, so it's not good lighting. Oh, next time I need to bring my ring light. All right, I can't move this thing, so I'm gonna have to do something else. Let me see. Hey, how are you? So my lighting, I did not realize that like my lighting is not the way it was a week ago. So next time definitely we'll be bringing in my ring light. And then I'm gonna also get an external microphone. I'm just working things out right now. I'm still kind of new, trying to figure out how to bring the best quality of a show. But I hope the audio is great. I hope you can hear me clearly. I'm about to see what time it is. Oh no. Yes, I am. Okay, so I got a few minutes before my show starts. I'm just setting up. But good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. We will get started in 5 minutes. Let me see. Pull this over. I also today forgot my phone tripod as well. I got to be more prepared. All right. Darn it. This. Okay, I think that's good. That'll work. At least for today, that'll work. Only other thing is I don't have my camera set up. Ooh. I'm gonna look dark in this lighting. Ooh, looks kind of crooked. Mm-hmm. All right, let's see how this is looking. All right, I could deal with it for today. That looks good. Okay. This one. All right, I'm also live on Instagram. Woo! I'm working on getting a better webcam situation going on, so bear with me. Hey, D. Jenkins, great afternoon, everybody. Let me see where I'm at. Okay. All right, I just gotta pay attention. Okay, I can see that. All right, and you can hear the show on www.undergroundcolumbus.com. Here's some wonderful music from our unsigned artist. Okay, I am Sabrina Faith, and this is my show, SaBreezy Speaks. And I'm pretty much on a trial basis. I want to do this more, but I'm trying to just get used to being a radio personality and what that means for me. So the school has graciously allowed me to have a shot at doing that. As I am a graduate as well. So this is great. And we are going to get into it today. I definitely want to talk about the divorces that has been in the news and a couple of other things. So I hope you all will stick around and we can have some great conversation. Please leave comments in the live chat on Instagram and on YouTube. You can check me out on YouTube, Sabrina Faith, and you can find me on Instagram by looking for Brina Talks a Lot. And again, our website, www.undergroundcolumbus.com, WUDG, home of the undersigned artists. My show officially starts like now, right? Yes, it's 1 o'clock. And I'm just gonna turn it down just a little bit. Get my microphone, because honey, I be struggling with keeping my mic on. I do. Okay. I'll be sitting there like talking, and I did not unmute a damn thing. But welcome to SaBreezy Speaks. This is the 3rd episode in my show. Again, I am Sabrina Faith, and I hope you all are having a great Friday. It's cold. It's cold. I'm here in Ohio. And Corey's divorce had me in shock. Yes. And that's why I want to talk about it. Absolutely, I do. Just waiting for this ID. I got to pay attention to the radio. But please, well, I guess I wasn't expecting it that day. But what I always say about these divorces that go on, I just look at these couples and you see these pictures, they're so happy, they're having kids. And now that I have gone through divorce myself, the first thing I think of when I see a couple that I believe is happy, I just go and I think, so when is it going to end? When are they going to break up? Because it's a shock to us, because we're not in the relationship. We don't live day to day with them. So we're not aware of the problems and the little chips in this outward fine exterior. So of course it's a shock to us because we're not there for the play-by-play, and we're not in the heads of the people who are married to share their experiences on a more personal, intimate level. Although it feels as though we know them because we hear about them in the news all the time. We watch them on TV, they play sports. A lot of folks are shocked about Tom Brady and his wife. They've been married for so long. Nia Long and her fiance. Yes, haven't they been engaged for about a decade? And something like that happens. However, I don't put anything past anyone's relationship. Nothing whatsoever. I mean, that's why now when I see a couple and I'd be like, okay, that's cute for the moment, but when is this going to end? And what pisses me off about the divorce, getting into the title of this video, there is no support for Corey Hardrick, really. And like, there's like a minority of people who are like in the middle of it. And they're just like, oh, I'm praying for the family. I'm praying for both of them involved, that they'll get through this, and for the kids and what have you. However, for him, but most of the support, of course, and the backing force is for Tia Mowry, because she's the one. I did not hear about him dropping a statement on his Instagram. And many people would argue, well, of course, we're not going to look and check his Instagram. He's not the bigger star in the relationship. Matter of fact, if you ask people, I don't think, would you consider Corey Hardrick a star? What is it? To me, Tia is the Hollywood star. He is still working and pushing through. I don't know what his intentions or what his goal is as far as being an actor. I don't know if he wants that big status or if it's just something that he wants to do, but he's okay with not being some big blockbuster hit maker. You know, people can have those type of aspirations, even though they're with someone who, in our minds, supersedes their success in that line of work. So I really don't have, in my opinion. So I don't know, but it's just, there's no support for him because we don't know him as much as we know Tia. We don't. We've watched Tia for years and her sister. We've seen these two women grow from just being the twin, Tia and Tamara, to having their own entities, you know, in lines of business and families. That dynamic never goes anywhere in a relationship. It always crashes and burns. They were together before. Yes, married for 14 years, but did you know, I believe that they were friends for at least friends and dating for 10 years. I keep seeing reports that say that they've known each other a combined 24 years. That's a lot of time. You are listening to WUDG Underground Columbus. Up next is Someone to Stay by PSA. Oh, I caught it at the tail end. I'm supposed to front sell and back sell. So, but I caught it. I'm gonna get better at that front selling and back selling, y'all. This is all a learning experience. She should have left him at the bus stop. Oh, Lord. Okay, so this is what I mean. So a lot of people, we are already assuming that we know what the divorce is about. Okay, everyone is either on the first of the biggest one is cheating. That was something that is running rampant right now. And then the second thing is that Tia must not want a man that she has to take care of. Everybody is saying that that she wants a man who's raking in that money and has a bigger career. And I'm like, y'all really think Tia is that shallow? Is that what y'all saying? I know you're trying to diss Corey, but y'all also dissing her because clearly she's not that shallow of a woman if it was all about what his bank account looked like. So I don't think that that's what the case of the matter is. Because, girl, you knew what you had when you had him. And what do we all say? You don't marry somebody for their potential. You marry them for who they are right now. So I feel like, that it's none of my business why. Everyone's trying to figure out why, and it's none of your business to know. I did peep that she didn't say it was cheating, but of course, she didn't also say it wasn't. And then also another thing is I couldn't believe they lasted this long for them to finally break up. That's crazy. But it's not so crazy. Okay, take this for instance, another divorce that happened this year. Sylvester Stallone and his wife, I believe they've been married for 25 years. 25 years, and a lot of people's like, woo, and stuff like that. And it seems as though Sylvester doesn't even want the divorce. He still talks very highly of his current spouse and has nothing but great things to say about her. She's the one who filed. And Anthony Anderson, who plays on Blackish, he and his wife of 26 years are divorcing as well. And I guess a lot of people they don't understand how you could spend so many years with one person and then just abandon the whole thing. And I just don't think it's that crazy because when you think about it, you're not the same person that 20 years ago. Granted, that's why I would not enter into marriage again myself, because marriage to me means, hey, 20 years, 50 years, 75 years. Oh, we're in this. You understand what I'm saying? That's what I got married for. That's the expectation that we're 20 toes down. Okay. We are 20 toes down no matter what. But that's just not how it is in today's society. It's just not. And I'm not sure if it's a society thing or if more people are just not as, when you get together with someone, it's because you guys have something to work together with. Usually there's a common goal or a common bond. What if Tia and Corey, whatever they were seeking to accomplish together in the beginning, it's no longer an incentive for them to stay together. What if it was like, okay, we want to have 2 kids. All right. And we want to buy this house and, this and that. And we want to buy this because we don't know what their real personal life is like. So what if they've achieved those things that they set out to achieve 24 years ago, and now they have different aspirations that they want to achieve together, and the only way to do that is going their own way? She probably convinced her so that he would have to pay her out at the money. Well, the great thing about Tia is she has a prenuptial agreement, and that in the prenuptial agreement, pretty much what's hers is hers and what's his is his. So it seems as though, again, even though he signed a prenuptial agreement in the beginning of the marriage, people still think that he's with her for the money or to be taken care of. And I don't see where that's fair whatsoever. I mean, did she ever come out and say he don't do what he's supposed to do to take care of his family? Like he's good enough for her to sleep around and get pregnant by, but to stick by him when she knew what his income was at the start of it? Also, again, that pisses me off. that it's just like y'all looking at this man, looking down on him. And from what I've seen, just like with Tia, Corey has been consistent. We ain't heard no scandalous nothing about this man. Nothing scandalous, no skeletons in the closet. We ain't never seen him messing or up on any other woman. Another thing I've noticed about Corey, like when Tia had that show, Tia and Tamara, I was never seeing him like, oh, hey, I'm trying to come up off of knowing Tia and being married to Tia and having babies with Tia. No, this man been making his moves on his own without trying to use his wife's clout in order to be a person in Hollywood. Yeah, we know him because he's Tia's husband, but career-wise, he's currently working. I believe he's on the CW's All-American Homecoming. I've never felt that this man has used Tia to have a relationship. You feel me? Marriage is hard work. So I guess that pisses me off is that there's the utmost support for Tia, but everybody's so ready to throw Corey under the bus because they don't like how he looks in pictures most of the time. I've seen him smile. He don't smile always. People saying like, oh, because of how he looks in pictures, he must be emotionally detached. And Tia probably wants this and that and the third. Y'all don't know Tia. And another thing I'm going to point out, y'all don't know how Tia is behind closed doors. You don't know what this man had to put up with this woman. Can you imagine the attitude that the public has if she has that same attitude? Like, I want a man who could do more, who can match me, who could do more than me. Can you imagine living with a woman like that if you got to sit there and deal with that kind of attitude and you doing your best to show up and be there for your family no matter what your income level is? That is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Who would want to deal with somebody like that if that is the truth? But clearly, she's the one who filed, so maybe he didn't want the divorce and whatever the issues are, he wanted to work through them. But if that's the type of attitude she had, if that's how she feel like, oh, you know, he ain't doing enough or whatever, then let her know herself enough. Like she says, self-love, and have that and walk away and let this man find somebody who will be with him at his income level if that's the case. But I really don't believe she's that shallow, because if she was, why would she marry him? Why would she spend more than 20 years with this man and have children with this man? There must be something really wonderful about him if she felt like this is the man that I want to have children with, especially that journey being so hard for her to endure. He was there with her in that journey. Okay, y'all forget that? But all right, it's time for my segment. All right. Welcome to WUDG Underground Columbus. You are listening to Sabrina Faith, the host of SaBreezy Speaks. How are you doing on this Friday? It is October 7th of 2020. The year is almost over. How crazy is that? But we have a great afternoon lined up for you. This is WUDG's Afternoon Power Push. I am starting it off here at 1 o'clock. At 2 o'clock, we have DJ Frost coming through. And then we have Shahida at 2, ending out the afternoon for you to get you through that afternoon and on to the weekend, honey. Today, I am talking about divorce. There has been a lot of divorce that has come up on news feeds from celebrities this week. We have Gisele and Tom Brady hiring attorneys to go ahead and move forward with divorce proceedings. Tia Mowry, she filed from divorce from her husband, Corey, of 14 years, 2 children later. Then 3 years, after 3 years of marriage, we have Sure Thing singer Miguel divorcing his wife, or I'm sorry, I believe she is the one who filed for divorce, and plenty of other stars who aren't as high caliber as them filing for divorce as well, especially those love at first sight individuals. I mean, of course, we knew their marriages would end. But shock is mostly what we've heard from, especially folks are shocked about Tom Brady and Gisele, and folks were really thrown by Tia and Corey's divorce announcement. And ever since then, there has been speculation going around as to the reasons why. Let me know, sound off. What do you think are the reasons why for divorce? Do you think it's cheating? Do you think it's just they've outgrown each other? Do you think that the brother just doesn't make enough money and impress Tia enough with his ambition? Or is it just none of our business? Do you think it's just none of our business to know why the two of them have decided to go their separate ways, or that Tia has been the one to initiate the divorce proceedings? Do you think that holds a deeper meaning? That is a great question. However, what is your overall stance on marriage today? Do you think that this marriage shouldn't be anymore? Or how are you able to be sure enough to know that your marriage is going to last? That is something that no one could possibly know. We don't know the future exactly. And no one really goes into marriage saying, hey, this is not going to work. most of the times anyway, we go into it, unless you already know that you're just marrying this person for a green card, just trying to make sure that they still have their citizenship. But really, what does it take to know? I mean, Tia was dating him for about a decade before they got married. If that's not sure enough, then how sure can you possibly be before you take that leap down the aisle? I want to hear from you. What will it take for you to get married, or what did it take for you to go ahead and feel as though it was time for you to get married? And for me, I waited a year. I got married the following year. My marriage lasted 6 years intact, and we are still going through divorce proceedings ourselves. Coming up next is going to be November Williams. So kick it right here with us on WUDG Underground Columbus. I will be back. Take care, y'all. All right. So some relationships aren't forever. Hey, Simone. Thank you, Simone. I appreciate that. How much time do they need to be with their significant others if they're always on set somewhere or a movie or a show or something? Okay, so let's talk about that, professions, because that can go for anyone who's not just an actress. But let's take Tom Brady and Gisele, for example. And I'm just gonna put this down for a moment until my next segment comes up. Hey, thank you for checking it out. But let's talk about that, because with Tom Brady and Gisele, I heard, of course, through the articles that the reason why the biggest tension between them is the fact that he was supposed to retire from football during this last previous season, but then he reversed it. He reversed it and decided to stay and continue playing. That's what I've heard is the major crux of why they're deciding to go for divorce, because she doesn't want him to continue playing. She wants him to go ahead and retire. And is there any other reason? But I heard that is the biggest reason, and it's so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate. I was having a discussion with someone at the front desk. Yes, DC Soap Sanctuary. Thank you. I wholeheartedly agree. I'm like, oh, because again, we're not in their relationships to know the ins and out, the intimate details, the discussions, the arguments. We're not there. So it shocks us initially because we're like, oh, there were problems. Y'all were having problems, but we just saw you on the red carpet. Y'all were having issues. But when you stop and think about our own relationships and how shocked people were when we broke in a previous relationship that you had, were your friends and family shocked that you and your ex broke up? My mother-in-law even told me that she was shocked that we broke up. Like, she thought that we were going to grow old together. People are not aware of your problems because they have their own. So, he told her that he was going to retire, and he did, and so he lied. He made sure that she gave up her career and didn't give her his career. Ooh, thank you for that clarity, Angela. Ooh, so is that something that you believe they can come back from, or no? Like if he were to go ahead and stop playing football, would that be enough at this point, or did he break her trust enough for her to say, hey, I can't be in this marriage anymore? I just, what a shame. And I guess the way you put that, because as I was saying earlier, getting ready to say, I was in a discussion with the lady at the front desk about Tom and Gisele. And I said, but you knew who you married. You knew he loved football. Like, you knew he played football. Like, what are you, like, now all of a sudden him playing is too much for you? But she pretty much said along the lines the same thing that you did. She said, but they talked about it. They had a plan, and he went against the plan. My question to Tom Brady is, why did you go back on the word that you made to your wife? Not that you owe me a response, completely rhetorical, because again, it's none of my business. It's really none of my business. It's their business, their attorney's business, but of course, naturally, what about football is so like that? It's like, I'm gonna risk my whole marriage and divorce this woman who stood by me, had my children. We've had apparently, from the outside looking in, it's been a pretty incredible journey for the two of you. And football is enough for me to say, that's it. That is it. I'm going to keep football. And especially with how violent the sport is, I wonder if, he could end up suffering from CTE. That has been a very big topic of discussion, especially since you cannot diagnose it until after death. You can't see that until after the person has passed away. Okay, let me read some of these. Nobody should be seeing. I think I read that. Oh yes, nobody should be anyone's couple's goals. We're only seeing the image they're presenting, but not necessarily the reality. Yes, I'm gonna snap on that one. Snaps for you, sir. Angela is right. That is why in any relationship, it is important to have your own life and identity outside of that. Another snaps. Whatever celebrity couples go through, that's their business, not ours. Only they know, and God knows why they break up. Yes. So that's what pisses me off about this divorce. That everyone is just throwing Corey under the bus. There's no support for him, really. Like solely, like there's no support for him, which is because he doesn't have as big a fan base and connection with the audience as Tia does, and also the fact that everyone feels like it's their duty and their job to figure out what went wrong. But because we were just looking at it, it's like, and I don't think it's because we feel as though it's our business per se. It's just our own relationships fail at times. And we look at and we'd be like, okay, if I can't have a relationship that doesn't fail, then who can? So when we see these people from afar, celebrities or not, even friends of ours, like we have friends and we'd be like, oh, my relationship is, but their relationship, oh, I know they'll, that's the hope that I have a relationship like that. That's the hope. Like he said, like, relationship goals. And when we see it break down, we'd be like, okay, how can we have relationships that last? How can we be together till death do us part? How can we? If I was looking to you for advice or, how can we? I can't, I don't know that it's possible, but I can't. I know I saw my parents were married till my mother passed away, but they were born in the 1940s. I don't know if decades have something to do with it, but I'm not really sure what it takes to. I'm not really sure. Maybe ask TD Jakes and his wife. They've been together. They'll tell you it's God at the center. Is it God at the center? I have no idea. Okay, let me see. He also made sure she raised them kids by herself or with nannies because it wasn't like she hated me enough. She didn't have money herself. Would have been fine if they first met. He retired. Yes. People in the church sitting here claiming that somebody is their husband. I don't even. I'm sorry. It's not really. I don't trust church folks in their relationships because they'd be especially the pastors and their first wives. Did y'all see Iyanla? Does anybody ever watch Iyanla Fix My Life? There's this woman who was married to a pastor, and I mean, he had women all over the church, honey, all over the church. But yet, that you the pastor, I don't trust church folk relationships. I'm not. No, they'd be the first ones to go. Um, that's why I'm slow to speak. I've been in relationships for 4 years now, and I'm trying to be in no one's relationship goals. Amen. He looking for that one concussion or that one brain injury that's going to put him out for good, and she's going to have to take care of him. Or that money is going to have to take care of him, and she put his butt up somewhere. She ain't got to deal with him because he's too much of a vegetable. Hey, Shakira. Most marriage ministries and church are scary, and it puts a lot of pressure on the marriage, in my opinion. About Tom and Gisele, because I had a feeling it was coming. Make sure she gave up wings to have kids. He didn't keep his word. That's not right. That's not right. Okay, I'm about to upsell and downsell this song. I'm trying to make sure I have it in my head because it moves so quickly. You are listening to WUDG Underground Columbus. This is Fred Up with Wrecking Machine. Coming up next is Vatella with Sapiosexual. You're going to want to hear this. Okay, I'm getting better. I'm getting better at this front cell, back cell. Just got to make sure I'm on point. My next segment is coming up after the next song. Yay! Okay, all right. But thank you for kicking it here with me, Sabrina Faith. SaBreezy Speaks on WUDG Underground Columbus. We are currently discussing the divorces that we saw in the news. After my next segment, I am going to switch gears into a different conversation, more real world news of something that happened. But we're going to keep talking about divorce for the next, about not divorce, but we've got about 5 more minutes on this topic, and then we're going to switch gears to another topic that I saw this morning. But anyway, let me see the comments really quickly. Sorry about that. No relationship is perfect. We all go through ups and downs, and we must move to the next and live for our life and live our best lives. Gisele, the highest paid model in the world when she got with Tom. They are rich and will be just fine. Money-wise, they will be fine, clearly, as long as they continue to make smart financial decisions. However, we've all said this, and I think we can all agree, it's money doesn't buy happiness. I mean, yes, I mean, because look at Kanye West, and I'm going to save that for later. But I'm gonna just leave it right there, okay? Because I know y'all can flood me with Kanye West right now. But look at Kanye West. He a billionaire. Is he happy? So, with that being said, yeah, they're going to be fine money-wise, the lawyers. And that was another thing that I was wondering, how long do you think it will take to finalize a divorce between Gisele? How long do you think how long do you think it'll take to finalize their divorce? I was telling someone that it took a decade for Arnold Schwarzenegger and for Arnold and I'm sorry, what is his wife's name? For Arnold and his wife to get divorced, Maria? For Arnold and Maria to get divorced. It took 10 years after he had a baby with they housemaid. 10 years to figure that stuff out. How long do you think it'll take for them to unravel their divorce? Is there a prenuptial agreement between Gisele and Tom? I have not heard that. Good morning, Beverly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Let me see. Megan Good and Devon Franklin. That was another one that and folks is still dragging Megan. Folks is still dragging because church people wasn't good with Megan. They didn't like how she was dressing. They felt like her acting career wasn't suited for a woman who's married to a pastor. And for church folks have still shown Megan Good no mercy, and I don't understand it because she's not a bad woman. She's not a bad woman. I've never heard this woman get into anything that is, just like troubling or I don't understand. Oh my goodness, child. You are here on WUDG Underground Columbus. This is your girl, Sabrina Faith, slipping on SaBreezy Speaks. We are still talking about divorce right now. We are now dissecting or, giving our thoughts a little further about Tom Brady and Gisele, also Tia and Corey. And then we have Miguel and his wife. However, the general consensus is it's really not our business. We all have our own personal relationships. And though we want them to be successful, sometimes they just aren't. And, just give the grace and just pray that everything will work out in their favor. That's all I can hope, that people are praying in regards to me, because I'm currently going through a legal divorce. It was really tough at first. However, I'm calmed down quite a bit, emotionally. However, it must be really tough to go through a divorce and have everyone know about it. Everyone know. Because at least in my case, I could walk by and pass somebody. They don't really know me. They don't know what I'm going through. But now you have a lot of people online weighing in on what you're dealing with. So my initial line was to say what pisses me off about the divorce between Tia and Corey is just how folks is so quick to throw Corey underneath the bus when there has been no pattern of poor behavior on this man's part, for folks to just sit there and come for his neck the way that they have in the comments, from cheating to saying that he don't make enough money, he's emotionally detached, he had just got tired of him. Like, stop all of that. And do you feel as though Tia needs to make another statement saying that he didn't cheat? I feel as though they should just continue. The first statement she gave is fine. Corey did respond to someone telling them that they were speaking lies on their relationship. And I hope that they maintain their silence because they don't owe anyone any explanations. It's really not for us to understand the inner workings of their marriage. We're not a part of it. All we are to do is to send them positive love and energy so they can figure it out, because they have 2 young children who now, especially their older son, who has to adjust to his parents not being together. Let that be the focus. Let the children and prayers for their mental and emotional health be the sole focus of this divorce, and not dragging their parents through the mud on the internet, because their son can probably see all of this stuff. So good luck to you all. We will be back very shortly. Coming up next is Prem De Niro with Play for Keeps. Okay, that button be seeming jammed sometimes. Okay. All right. I'm just going to reset my camera. I will be right back. And then we're going to get into some other topics. Be right back. Okay, right back. It didn't take long at all. Thank you, Beverly. Okay, all right. All right, just turn this down. Okay, my next segment is a while off. I just got to make sure I'm paying attention to upsell and downsell, what I'm supposed to do. Thank you. Okay, so something that I saw in the news, it has nothing to do with celebrity, but real world. And it is a tragic story coming out of California. And I have been following it because it was just the things that people in the world are capable of is downright. And I have to speak for myself because I have to know and understand that I'm not above anyone. I'm not walking on water. We are all capable of the very best, and we are all capable of the very worst. So I count my blessings every day that the Lord has a hold of my mind, because it is so easy to lose it. So this particular story, again, comes out, hey, Vitra, it comes out of California. I don't know, let me know if you've seen it. A family of 4, a wife, a husband, an uncle, and a 8-month-old baby girl were kidnapped from the family business and found deceased by a farmer in California out there. So they were apparently killed by a former employee who showed up shortly after the 2 gentlemen arrived at the job, and he kidnapped them. He first kidnapped the father and the uncle, and then he came back for the wife and the child. And the only reason, one of the biggest, authorities were able to detain him because this man told his family that he was a part of the kidnappings. Also, criminals who are, again, not smart, they go and they use the credit cards of their victims as though the police can't have access to ATM, surveillance cameras. Now, this is absolutely terrible. And they still don't have a motive as to why this man did it. We just know that he's a former employee. Not only that, but this man has previous jail time history. He spent about 10 or 11 years behind bars for similar crimes and offenses. And I believe attempted murder and false imprisonment. Also, he was let out, I believe, in 2011 or 12, and he officially finished parole in 2015. And it's just terrible. No matter what we're told the reason is for why he did what he did, there's no excuse. What? I don't know what it is or what happens in people's lives that it just comes down to killing people. And a lot of people's like, why the baby? Why the baby? Like, what? And it's just so awful. There's no further details, but the man has been apprehended. However, that doesn't bring me true peace, because at the end of the day, there are 4 family members that are killed and what seems to be something so senseless. And I don't care whatever problems you have, taking a life, in my opinion, is just never, ever great. Angela, you're right. You're right. Especially since you live off of the public's money. I mean, you're right. It's kind of like with church. When you give your tithes to the church and the pastor, it's no more a private thing. That's why churches need to make sure they have transparency with their members, so they know where the money's going. But yeah, I agree. You're right. I mean, especially when you're living off of the public's money in such a big way like that, and you have such an influence. The world that we live in is just a mess. It certainly is. Another story, there is, and I don't know if anyone saw, but there is an update in PnB Rock. He is a rapper who is from Philadelphia, I believe. He was out in Los Angeles and he was at a Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles with his girlfriend enjoying a meal. The girlfriend, I'm talking into this like this is working. I'm sorry, I'm just, but they were out eating and the girlfriend shared their location. Now, what do you all think about sharing your location? Are you typically the type that when you're on social media and you're out somewhere, do you share where you're at while you're there? Do you feel comfortable enough to share where you're at while you're there? Or do you give it a day or so before you let people on your timeline know what you did that week? Because that's been a very hot button debate, and that gave me something to think about. Like going for because I did do that. Like if I'm sitting down eating lunch, I'll take a picture real quick and be like, "Oh, I'm here eating." And now after seeing something like that take place, I certainly won't ever share my direct location on social media ever. Maybe if I ever do, I'll wait a week or a month and be like, "Oh yeah, I was there 6 months ago." Like, especially if I frequently go someplace, I'm not going to constantly let you know when I'm there. Like, so that's one thing. I think I would love to encourage you all. I don't post until after I leave. You never know. You never know. I live in LA and I don't share these times are weird. You don't know who's watching. Yes. So the girlfriend and I'm sorry. Police have confirmed that they believe that it was the girlfriend sharing the location, which is how he was found, which is so sad. So sad. Oh my goodness. He was shot and killed after attempted robbery of his jewelry. And there is a video online. And I watched it to see him like that in his final moments. Now, there have been arrests made, 3 arrests. Did you all hear about this? The 3 people that were arrested. A father who was apprehended later on, stepmother, and the father's 17-year-old son who committed the murder. He sent his son in there to rob this man. I don't know if it was the plan to murder or if he just went ahead and just did it. But that's what we have here. They're not releasing. Okay, my segment is almost coming. I just want to pay attention. Okay, my next segment is right after this song. Okay. At least post all your pictures at the end of the day. Okay. Oh, horrible. Let me see. A family, how insane is that? Yes, the whole family's been arrested. The whole family's been arrested. But the stepmother is being charged as like an accessory after the fact. So I don't know if the stepmother was with the father and son. I'm assuming the father, maybe he was driving the getaway car. I have no idea. He was on the run while the mother and son have been arrested. They have not released information about the son, his name, because he is a minor. And I feel as though this young man needs to be charged as an adult. And not only that, but get this. He had an ankle monitor on because he was already out on either bond or parole for other charges that he had faced in the past. And his ankle monitor was supposed to go off and alert the police that he was not there where he was supposed to be. And it did not. We don't know if that would have saved PnB Rock's life, but whew, okay. That's why you don't post your information on social media, because it'd be a bunch of weirdos, perverts, and creeps. That's a cover up, because these record companies take out insurance policies just like your job, take out insurance policies on you. But these record companies and these film companies take out insurance. That is a theory. That is a theory. And also, of course, since you don't, it's very easy to control any narrative. It really is. So you always great theories and proven facts in some cases. And just like, okay, let's talk about sweetie pies. Has anyone been following Tim Norman, that Tim Norman story where this man set his nephew up to be killed and took out an insurance policy on him and tried to collect that? And everyone pretty much snitched on him. The trigger man, the woman who lured him to his death. And I believe they've been trying to reach out to the friend that helped him to set up the insurance policy against his nephew. It all stemmed from them believing that the nephew had robbed his grandmother, and he knew his uncle was trying to hurt him, so he left the area. But he swore his innocence, came back, was lured by this woman, and was killed. They found him guilty, so he's been found guilty for that. But money will make folks do things. You know, money will certainly do that. All right, it's my segment, y'all. All right, y'all, you are here with Sabrina Faith, and it seems as though my segment is only 10 seconds, so please keep it here at WUDG Columbus Underground. Upcoming is November Williams with Pool Party. That has to be fixed, because there'd be segments in here that get cut off, and it's only literally like 20 seconds when it says the duration should be more than that. That's weird. That has to be adjusted. At least it didn't happen all throughout the show. It happened all throughout the show last week, where my segments were literally just like 30 seconds. This time I only had one like that. So that's cool. I still got a front sell and back sell a couple more songs, and I think that's the last segment I have this entire hour. Need to adjust that as well. All right, I'm sorry, just doing company talk. But okay. The insurance policy, the same thing with Coolio. They all sign insurance policies when they're signing their contract. So I'm gonna have an extensive time period, 20 and 30 years, and others actually. Wow. Oh, I had to tap out of that story. Too crazy, just wow. As they should. That was sick. The boy's father was dead, and he was all Miss Sweetie Pie had of her son. Mm-hmm. It really is heartbreaking stories out here. I don't want to bring the mood down, but it was something that I saw this morning. I was just like, count your blessings that I have my sanity and that I haven't come across a situation in that matter. Like, you really have to be careful. Like, and even when you're careful, it seems as though it's still not enough to, protect you. You say all the prayers, you lock your door, you follow the rules of society yourself, and you could just be, walking into a store, and someone who has ill intentions could just shake up and ruin your day, your life, change your life because of their own intentions. So, wow. And what gets me the most of all, I know there are many crimes that are unsolved, but you really don't get away with it. In the long run, you really don't get away with it. Like the PnB Rock situation, for instance. Within weeks, the people who did it were subdued and now have to answer to it long term. Not just the family having to deal with the loss of their loved one for the rest of their lives,
but you have to deal with the taking of this life for the rest of yours. Another thing, one that touched my heart especially was this young rapper named Jose Onfroy. His stage name is XXXTentacion, and the same thing with him. They robbed him, and then after robbing him, shot him dead. And all he had, I believe he had $50,000 on him. And by the time the police caught up with him, they didn't have much of that money to show for it. They didn't even use it wisely. They didn't even buy anyone a house with it. You know what I'm saying? Not that they would have been able to keep that house because that money was stolen, but they didn't even attempt to do anything to improve their lives. So maybe we could be in a position where we didn't rob and kill nobody. You just rob and kill just so you can just like be in the strip club or something real quick and then go to jail. It don't make sense to me why you go through all that trouble just for just literally a minute of a reprieve. It must be the high you get by doing something like that. Maybe it's just the high you get off of that. But my you know. Okay, I was like, no, don't lose my live stream. I did not hear about that story. I really have to get back into the news. The only things I saw this week was divorce, those unfortunate stories that I mentioned just recently, and Kanye West and the Kardashians. I have, of course, constantly been in the news. Kanye West has what I think Khloe was like, hey, stop lying on my sister. We're sick of it. He put Kris Jenner as his profile picture to try to make up for calling her Kim Jong-un. Because didn't he do that? Like, hasn't he dragged the Kardashian family? Not that many. There's some people who are here for it. They're like, we don't like the Kardashians, so if Kanye is going to drag them, okay. And they're just like, okay. But there are others that's just like, oh my goodness, y'all have kids together, bro. Like, chill out. And then, of course, he was with Candace Owens at a fashion show, and he wore a shirt that said White Lives Matter. And yes, I did. So I've heard a lot about Kanye West in the news, and folks just saying they really need to stop giving him attention at this point. I've heard about the Try Guys. Now that one was confusing for me. I'm not a big fan of the Try Guys, meaning I just haven't watched them. I have definitely heard about them before this whole scandal broke. But I believe they have a man in their group. His name is Ned, and apparently he was having an affair with an employee, with his subordinate, and they got rid of him super quick. What I didn't understand is, like, is it because it's bad for business? Like, I mean, because people be having consensual affairs all the time. Like, that's a moral issue, but I guess you can't have it at your job. I guess I thought she was assaulted. I thought that's why I was like, damn, like, it's so bad to the point that they want to cut him out of their videos. They're like, we're about to cut this man out of our videos from the past. I'm like, oh shoot, like, what did he do to this woman? So the Try Guys, that was an interesting story, but people cheat. Like, it's so insane how the number of reasons why you can lose your job. He was co-owner and manager, and he slept with her. I mean, would it have been better if he wasn't married? Because I mean, there are people who fall in love on the job all the time. I remember, who is this woman? Oh my goodness, I know her name. It's something Broderick. It's something Broderick. Her name is something Broderick. She was married to a lawyer for like decades. They had children together, and he hired a new assistant at his job, and he ended up falling in love with her, divorcing his wife and marrying her. And Miss Broderick decided I think she lost custody of the kids. And she ended up going one night using their daughter's key to get in the house, and she killed him and his wife. I mean, like, y'all be careful messing with these people's spouses out here. I'm glad I was never that crazy. I have my craziness, okay, about me. I ain't about to sit there and take a life and not be a part of my child's life because her dad wanted to leave the relationship. That's just not stable. Okay, well, having morals is great. And if they want to maintain the moral integrity of their business, then so be it. Yeah, so if they feel like, look, we can't trust you because you betrayed us by messing around with one of our subordinates and you're married with children, no, we don't want to be a part of that. So they have every right to want to distance themselves from that. You know, one bad apple, they say, one bad apple will spoil the whole bunch. So I guess they felt they had to nip it in the bud. Kanye West is just a bit out of control, especially when he finds out Kim was messing around with comedian Pete Davidson. It's just so weird because Kanye West is an intellectual. He's very smart. He didn't get to where he is without intelligence. And I understand artistic expression. You know, I can't tell him how to express himself. Yet it was disturbing, this video that he did with Pete Davidson. Didn't he have his head? He was like burying his head or something. And the thing is, he was so extra, so incredibly extra about Kim being in a relationship with this man. And they are not together. They are not together. Kim ended that faster than I'm actually proud of her for doing that before trying to marry somebody again. But like he did all of that to Pete Davidson, which I believe is bullying and harassing. You know what I mean? Some of the stuff that people get away with, I'm like, you didn't get arrested for that. Like, you really can't press charges for that. But they weren't even like, what, dude? They didn't even last a year. Granted, Kim was like, oh, I'm going to wait 6 months before I introduce my kids to somebody. It looks like you need to wait a little longer, honey, because 6 months doesn't mean nothing. I think they broke up 2 months later. Okay. It's different when it's a bunch of power dynamics going on if y'all are both in a place of power. They lost trust in him because it was going on for a year. Okay. But Kanye was just doing the most. Like, bro, they didn't even last. Which is the crazy thing. Hi. That's the crazy thing. But all right, to each his own if you want to handle it that way. Okay, got a sweeper. I'm trying to see. Okay, I know when's and then I have another segment. I don't know if it's really going to last that long. It looks like it will. Oh, no, I can't do that segment because, okay, after I upsell and downsell this song, I got to move because somebody's coming in at 2. DJ Frost. Okay. Okay, I got one more song to upsell and backsell, and then I'm out for the day. Yay! So I really enjoy this. And Kanye was dating Kim's doppelganger while he was wilding out. Not only that, but there was another woman he was dating, something Fox, some model, some white, like blue-eyed model. Like he was dating her too. That was weird. But okay, Kanye, whatever. That was so weird. But time is winding down. Thank you so much for joining me. I had a great talk. It was really great. And divorce is a very sensitive topic for me. But what I feel as though I learned from getting divorced, or about the divorce process, is that is knowing that I have the strength to leave or be left. Or leave, to leave and be left and live through it. And my question to anyone who's watching, what's worse? What's worse? Is it losing your loved one in life or in death? what is worse? Because we can lose someone, you know, by them dying suddenly in an accident, or even if we see it coming through like a long-term illness. But what about when you lose them in life and you guys go on and it's not, and it's like, hey, we could be together, they're right across the street, but it's just not working. What's worse? To me, I used to think that losing them in life, and maybe parts of me still think that losing them in life is worse than death. Because because in life it feels like you're missing out. Like there's still more we could add to it. We're both still here. There's still time. There's still opportunity. You know, that has been something that I've been dealing with when it comes to my divorce. Again, one that I can be left and I am able to leave and live through it, even though it's painful. And then also not having them in my life. I'm happy that, you know, of course, Layla's father is alive and healthy, especially because of Layla, because even though she's, you know, mommy is her favorite parent right now. When she grows older, what I hope for her is that she comes into full appreciation of having both of her parents in her life, and that she has that opportunity to have both of those sides for her, because both me and her father are important to her growth and important to have a healthy and whole child, you know, as best as we can, especially in the world that we live in. So I'm very happy for that. And also, I have a friend who recently over the summer, she and her child's father, they had been going through, you know, visitation and what does co-parenting look like. They finally found some common ground, and they were starting to come out of that, I can't stand you, but we're here for our son. It was the we love our son. And one morning, 3 blocks from where I live, he was in a car accident, crashed into a construction site, and he was killed. Their son is 6 years old, and it's been tough for her. It's been really tough for her. And to know that he's going to grow up with that missing in his life. Also, because of unfortunate immaturity on the parts of the adults, it hasn't made the transition for him or his half brother easy. So let me stop by saying, always appreciate where you're at in life. People are going through it worse than you are. It could be so much worse. Okay, time for me to upsell it and downsell. All right, that was 2 Worlds Apart by Crossfire. You are listening to WUDG Underground Columbus with Sabrina Faith. Here is Pool Party by November Williams. All right. So this show is even better than last week, in my opinion, and it's going to keep getting better. I'm going to keep getting better and growing. Thank you all so much for joining me here on YouTube. Please, the website is www.undergroundcolumbus.com, WUDG, home of the unsigned artist. And I am the host of SaBreezy Speaks every Friday from 1 to 2. And please, in the comments, leave topics that we could discuss, or even as the week goes on. I will be back here on YouTube on Sunday to discuss General Hospital. That's still going to be our thing. For those of you who rock with me for that, we definitely got to talk. Because, honey, I damn near did a live stream Wednesday night after I saw Nina and Willow. Woo! I have a lot to say. So I will see you all Sunday evening. And until then, be blessed, be safe, and enjoy yourselves in the time that you have. Love you all so much. Take care, okay? Bye.